Hi, everyone. Welcome to Biohacking Beauty, the podcast where we simplify youthful aging using science backed biohacking strategies. I'm your host, Amitai Eshel, co founder and CEO of Young Goose, the world's first biohacking and longevity skincare brand. And as always, we are here to help you unlock the secrets to truly youthful skin. All of it done on at the cellular level. Today, we're going to have an episode diving deep into the evolution of the approach to skin aging, how aging manifests in the skin, why traditional skincare is outdated, and the cutting edge science behind real skin longevity. Of course, Biohacking Beauty is brought to you by Young Goose Skincare, the leaders in longevity focused skincare. Our goal to not just slow down aging, but to reverse it at the cellular level. But all right, let's get into it. Most people think aging, is purely cosmetic, especially skin aging, but it's so much more. The skin is actually a real time biomarker for your internal health. Companies actually are looking now, together with advanced machine learning AI models, at ways that by looking at someone's image, we can extrapolate their biological age of the entire organism, the entire body, and even detect underlying conditions that are not detected by superficial testing. So your skin, especially as we grow older, is becoming more and more important as far as our ability to understand the aging of the entire organism. And we can also look at the reverse of that. So the first 20, 30 years, 40 years of our lives, we are mainly a reproductive organism. So we're designed, and our skin is designed specifically to communicate our sexual virality and vitality. As we grow older and past that reproductive prime, our skin, obviously through cues from our body, whether it is hormonal cues or other cues, really kind of abandons this role and slowly preserves its energy. And by preserving energy, it also preserves the amount of errors, mutations it can incur. This is a little bit complicated, and we're going to get into it slowly. Especially, we're going to release a few episodes talking about this. But our skin is becoming more and more of a protective organ and less of an outward communication organ of vitality and virality. The skin in general, beyond aesthetics, reflects key aging processes like metabolic efficiency, immune function, and cellular resilience. Actually, our immune system, the health of our immune system is one of the is the key factors in keeping our skin youthful as we age. If your skin is aging quickly, it's often a sign that one other system or multiple systems in your body are as well aging quickly. Um, we know that aging is first visible on the skin and in the skin, because unlike internal organs, your skin is constantly exposed to outside environmental stressors, UV radiation, pollution, oxidative stress from EMFs and other sources, artificial blue light. All of those are drivers, and that is why drivers of aging, stressors. And that's why usually the skin is the first place aging shows up before we even feel it elsewhere. And myself, everyone that I know looks in the mirror and say, there is a growing dissonance between how I feel on the inside and the way that and the person looking at me or back at me in the mirror. um, let's talk about the skin mitochondria connection, which is a big one. Your mitochondria which are tiny powerhouses in our cells. We say mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, but we have many, many, many mitochondria per cell. And their health is not only the health of the mitochondria, it's how many mitochondria we have per cell. This tiny powerhouse in our cell are essential for skin health. Not only that, mitochondria creates energy and create near infrared as part of that energy, emits near infrared as part of that energy. And that kind of glow, not oiliness, but the glow that we perceive people have in their skin is actually that healthy mitochondrial function. When mitochondria start to decline, cellular energy, which is called adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the production of ATP drops, and that leads to anything from slower cellular turnover, how fast our cells renew themselves. So we get dull, sluggish skin, reduced collagen synthesis, and elastin synthesis. So more wrinkles, more sagging, less bouncy skin. Another one is weaker detoxification. More oxidative stress and inflammation is directly tied to weaker detoxification. In our opinion, in what newer study is showing, is what I've just mentioned is the reason why true anti-aging isn't just about what you put on your skin or ingredients that you put on your skin to mask skin aging. It's about optimizing cellular function through whether it is what we apply on our skin or consume. Let's talk a little bit about traditional skincare versus longevity science. For decades, skincare has focused on surface level fixes. We call them downstream effects. But real longevity science really is shifting that narrative. And of course, that is what we're trying to do here at Young Goose. We're trying to apply real longevity science to topical applications. So what is the difference? So the old paradigm is about symptom management. And you could obviously, that would sound very similar to other discussions around health in general. So traditional skincare has been all about things like, making you feel more hydrated, repairing damaged barrier, and temporary plumping, which are these things are helpful and should still be targeted, but they don't actually reverse skin aging. So many anti-aging, in air quote, products rely on things like hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid doesn't actually fix hydration, but it plumps the skin temporarily by absorbing moisture on the surface level of the skin, but it does not actually hydrate cells, which actually doesn't happen on the surface. It happens from our blood supply, from deeper tissues. We actually cannot reach that with hydrating molecules. Okay, so hydrating your skin is kind of a myth. We can do it with other things, which we're going to get to, but hyaluronic acid is not one of them. It is helpful for looking younger a little bit, preventing some of the transepidermal water loss, which is definitely effective, but it doesn't fix deeper cellular damage. Retinol and peels, again, something positive to force exfoliation, to force cellular renewal. But if we are doing it absent of youthful function, that can stress the skin over time. So if you've ever heard about like myths that retinol thins the skin, or if you've seen people that have been using medical grade skincare for 20, 30 years, you'll see their skin is thinner, bruises easily, is more kind of crispy, less bouncy. The reason is because when we force a lot of exfoliation and we exhaust the skin's ability to or basically we draw on future reservoirs that the skin is trying to hold on to because it cannot produce healthy new cells at the rate that we're demanding. What we're going to get is skin that is older on the biological level. Um, and of course, something that I see coming back, which is hilarious to me, is collagen creams. There is now a TikTok popular collagen mask from Korea. Far be it. I mean, like, we are not poo-pooing anyone, okay? And the feeling can be nice, but collagen actually doesn't absorb into the skin and cannot truly replenish lost collagen at the cellular level. So, what is the new paradigm? The new paradigm is something called cellular reprogramming. So, instead of just masking aging, longevity science, longevity skincare works at a much more fundamental level in the cell to restore youthful function. What are some of those ingredients? First and foremost, NAD precursors. Restoring NAD reservoirs in the skin restores mitochondrial energy, and NAD is the currency for repair in the body. The reason we are experiencing aging at a cellular level to begin with, I know I'm also sick of hearing myself saying at a cellular level, but the reason we're experiencing aging at the most fundamental level is an accumulated and unrepaired damage. NAD is the currency for repair in the body. So every time we do not have enough NAD, because it declines with age, we are left with damage that cannot be repaired and is accumulated. So NAD allows us not only to repair in real time, but also to go back and repair damaged DNA, repair the mistakes, the mutations that have happened in the DNA level. The second molecule is spermidine. Spermidine is less known, but spermidine activates something called autophagy. Anyone, fasting, doing intermittent fasting, anything like that, the reason you are doing it, unless you're doing it for like weight loss reasons, which, to each his own, you're doing it to ignite something called autophagy. Autophagy is our body's way of recycling older, malfunctioning cellular cells and their parts into newer, pristine, fully youthful cells and their parts. So spermidine doesn't only, so what we're learning now, and new studies are coming soon, is that spermidine isn't only something that ignites autophagy, activates autophagy. Our body has it naturally, and our body needs it even in order to access the information in our DNA to use it to use the information about autophagy. So even if we're intermittent fasting, even if we're just living a healthy lifestyle and our cells part of their youthful function is autophagy, we need spermidine at the DNA level in order to access that information. So spermidine is a fundamental molecule that everyone should be monitoring, supplementing on, applying on their skin if they want youthful function. Third, and something that is a bit tricky, is copper peptides. Copper peptides boost regenerative proteins. Copper peptides is what we call a bioregulator. So these are very small peptides. They can penetrate the skin to some extent and boost regeneration and actually cue regeneration many levels, whether it's hydration, collagen, elastin, many levels. Copper peptides are extremely tricky to formulate with. For now, we have been researching copper peptides since 2016, 2017. They're very tricky. And we have built complexes that allow us to create effects with them, but we're still continuing. We know that there is so much more that we can do with copper peptides that haven't been achieved yet. But it's not as simple as just like, buying copper peptides, mixing them into your skincare or anything like that. Having said that, a lot of people inject copper peptides. Obviously, this is not medical advice, but a lot of people do that and experience great results. These are probably the best results you can get from copper peptides. Another one, which is extremely important, is advanced forms of vitamin C, especially magnesium ascorbyl phosphate or MAP and THD ascorbate or THDA. The reason we need those is that vitamin C is essential. It's a coenzyme for collagen. So if we want to create collagen, we need vitamin C. The problem with the traditional vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid, is a synthetic artificial version, does not exist in nature. And what happens is that this version actually does kind of the contrary. Our body doesn't use it correctly. It actually ages us. So we want to look for those versions, MAP and THDA. By reprogramming your skin cells, we're not just slowing aging, we're actively reversing aging. Okay? I'm going to say that again. By reprogramming your skin cells to be in a more youthful state, we're not just slowing aging down, we can actively reverse skin aging. A few other things that we are launching very soon, especially a product called Ladder. It's actually already on the website. We just didn't officially launch it. This is a product that harnesses and is being activated by red light therapy to reverse UV damage in the DNA, UV mutations in the DNA. So we do it through a few things, mainly enzymes, DNA repair enzymes that are activated by red light. So you can check that out if you're interested in that. Let's talk a little bit about what really drives skin aging. Okay. Most people think aging is just about collagen loss or dehydration, but it's really a significantly deeper process. Science or research really has pinpointed 4 key drivers of aging. First is the decline of NAD and mitochondrial dysfunction. NAD or NAD plus, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a critical molecule that fuels ATP production, which I mentioned before. It fuels DNA repair and cellular energy. As DNA declines with age, so by the time it starts declining in our late 20s, it starts declining sooner, but it ramps up in our late 20s. And by the time we're 60, we have half of what we need. So as NAD declines, a few things happen. Cells stop renewing efficiently, which again, the skin looks dull and tired. Oxidative stress increases, so more wrinkles, more loss of firmness, and senescent zombie cells accumulate, which leads to chronic inflammation, or what we call AKA inflammaging. So the solution is topical NAD precursors like NR or NMN. They need to be liposomal, they need to be encapsulated, and they need to be nano-sized. And we can also use newer complexes. So I mentioned the Ladder serum. This already has what we call NAD apex, which are these microencapsulated precursors, mainly NR, and enzymes that improve how our body recycles NAD. So it allows the body to kind of create more NAD on its own and provides it NAD topically. In our other products, we supply NAD topically alone. Another thing that can help is enhanced fermented resveratrol, because that version of resveratrol can restore mitochondrial energy and keep cells youthful. Let's talk about epigenetic shifts and protein misfolding. So as we age, youthful genes turn off while aging-related genes turn on. This disrupts the protein function, leading to misfolded collagen, weaker skin structure, and accelerated aging. Um, I'm going to try and explain it in a different way, where our DNA, most of our DNA in our skin cells is actually turned off. It's information that's related to, how to become a heart cell or how to function in different environments. The only information that a youthful skin cell is exposed to is the information of how to be a youthful skin cell. As genetic, epigenetic changes occur that are related to aging, good information is being lost or turned off, and bad information is being turned on. So that's kind of why we get cells that are not functioning correctly or in a youthful state. So how can we address that? We can address it first with copper peptides. Again, they're very hard to formulate, very hard to um, create a complex that actually reaches where we want in the skin. But when we do that, they can show cells how to produce collagen correctly, lower inflammation, things like that. We mentioned NAD boosters. NAD boosters are extremely important because NAD is needed together with resveratrol. Specifically for the skin, we need to have fermented resveratrol in order to correct those or reprogram the expression of those genes to really re-expose youthful genes and turn off aging related or bad genes. So that's how we treat that. The third thing is accumulation of senescent cells and inflammation. So senescent cells, also called zombie cells, are damaged cells that refuse to die, which in turn cause chronic inflammation and collagen breakdown. So they are, I know we in the past and other companies are kind of championing the approach of eliminating senescent cells as the end all be all for skin aging, but it actually is a dominant but one of 12 hallmarks of aging. It's only one of 12 and not the most important ones. So but in order, the most important is mitochondrial dysfunction and NAD decline that's related with that. The second is epigenetics shifts and protein misfolding. So that's number, let's say 2 and 3. We can chalk into, we can throw in there also also impaired autophagy, which is related to spermidine, and then we can talk about senescent cells. And the reason is our body always, and we're going to talk about autophagy in a second, but our body is constantly battling those zombie cells. Our body is constantly trying to eliminate them. What we're doing is helping the body, which is great, but um, they're a part of the process anyway. So again, what do? They create inflammation. They create very specific pro-inflammatory signals called SASP, and those inflammatory signals break down collagen, slow down skin renewal, and contribute to redness, puffiness, sagging, laxity, things like that. We can solve it by a few things. First of all, spermidine. Spermidine actually is eliminating senescent cells. And the reason I like spermidine specifically, and by the way, when I say spermidine, we're talking specifically about full spectrum spermidine. The only one that we're the only ones using spermidine at the moment, but it's important to know that maybe there will be companies in the future. It's not enough to only use spermidine. We need spermidine and its precursors, similar to what we're using with NAD. So spermine, putrescine, and spermidine, and we get those from Spermidine Life, by the way, if anyone wants to know, and which we've developed our skincare hat that contains spermidine with them, and so spermidine is incredible. Another way, what we've developed specifically is something called G14. It's in ProCare, and these are marine-derived senolytics that clear out zombie cells. So both spermidine and G14 do that, and that reduces inflammation and again reinvigorates, revitalizes our skin cells and anything from collagen, elastin production to laxity, even the fat tissue under the skin. I mentioned autophagy. So The fourth would be autophagy and barrier function. Autophagy is our skin's recycling system. So the skin in many different areas with NAD, with mitochondria, with many. So the skin doesn't. Our body doesn't only rely on things that we get from the outside. So, for example, our body can use fat for calories, right? So that's why it stores it. Our body is very good at kind of recycling things and rehashing, repurposing things to improve function. And autophagy is basically the main process that does that. So it's basically cellular recycling. It takes damaged parts, malfunctioning parts, older parts, full cells that are not functioning correctly, removing those damaged components, and actually recycling those damaged components into pristine, new, youthful components. That is imperative. Anything from toxin buildup. So we've talked. Many people are talking about um, accumulation of toxins, heavy metals, anything like that. But toxin buildup is it could be solved significantly or tackled significantly with autophagy. Um, Repair mechanisms that are weakened. So autophagy is at the core of every repair mechanism in the skin. So if you go and do like you know, we got a lot of pushback because we said, not everyone should do a CO2 laser or any regeneration inducing process. But the reason is that those require a very, very youthful functioning skin in order for you to reap the benefits and not to pay for it with actually older skin biologically. So autophagy is at the base of that. Impaired repair mechanisms means more oxidative stress, more mistakes, more scarring, more thinning out of the skin, less laxity. More laxity, less supple skin, glowing skin, etc. The third thing is barrier function decline. So barrier function, we are starting to understand, is actually like a hallmark of skin aging. And anything from our hydration levels to our ability to protect our DNA, our ability to protect from environmental toxins, all of those are our skin relies on our barrier function. Actually, our body relies on our skin's barrier function. So this is again something that we need to address. How can we address that? First of all, spermidine. Second of all, NAD and its precursors. Third, adaptogenic botanicals, which we use extensively. We actually use a mushroom ferment that is incredible for repairing the skin barrier. But new research shows that actually spermidine is an incredible component, is an incredible ingredient to restore youthful barrier function. Another thing we use is biomimetic lipids, but that is not on a cellular level. It's just, addressing the issue, because impaired barrier, we really want to make sure that the two things happen. We stop the leakage where it happens, hence the term leaky skin. We stop that, but also repair the reason that it happened in the first place. So let's kind of summarize everything. The real cause of skin aging isn't just dryness or collagen loss. It's cellular dysfunction. Traditional skincare really equals temporary relief. Even if we look younger for a very short amount of time, in the background, we're actually aging. The same or even more sometimes. The Young Goose longevity approach is true skin rejuvenation at the cellular level. How? By targeting aging at its root cause, what we call upstream. You can imagine a stream. Obviously, everything upstream affects everything that's downstream. So traditional skincare is really a downstream type solution. Young Goose is a really upstream solution. So we restore NAD levels for NAD repair, for DNA repair and cellular energy. We reprogram gene expression for youthful skin. We clear out senescent cells to reduce inflammation, and we enhance autophagy and mitochondrial function. And this is really just the beginning. In the next few podcasts that we're going to release, solo episode that we're going to release, we'll explore how Yangu's products, or our approach in general, how we use these scientific breakthroughs to actually reverse skin aging. So, make sure you tune in, um, and I'm really hopeful that this episode right here benefited you. I know I stumbled on my words a lot, but it was very important that we explain things correctly. But yeah, thank you very much, as always. Thank you for listening to the Biohacking Beauty podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you here next time for more cutting edge skincare science. Until then, I wish you a great rest of your week, and thank you. Bye.